We get another cogsworth. Love to see it. We are going to go ahead and play cogsworth. Nani? Welcome to Ready Setting. I'm Ben, and today we're playing with some blue steel. It's a classic wheel build that we've seen before. That I'm talking about this wheel right here. A whole new world. Each player discards their hand and draws 7 cards. We're going to need to refill our hand because we plan on getting all the cards out of it really fast. Into the inkwell, we got Jim Hawkins, the come on ability. During your turn, whenever this card is put into your inkwell, whenever a card is put into your inkwell, this character gains Challenger +2 this turn. So it can be a 2/4. It's pretty good. And if you ramp it all, if this thing goes to a 4/4, if you put 2 cards in for a 2-cost card, that's a good deal. The Mr. Smee, if you don't know Mr. Smee, it's one of the best 2-drop cards in all of Lorcana, especially now. There's a little crab pinched in his toe. I like the sound of that. The Bumbling Mate, at the end of your turn, this character is exerted, and you don't have a captain character in play. Deal 1 damage to this character. Catch those little, ouch. It quests for 2, and it has a 3/3. It's so good because you could either quest for 6, or you can take out some characters. You could either take out 2 characters, or you can quest for 6. Questing for 6, that's over a quarter of the game. Right there, ready for you to win. The Pete, they can't play any action cards. Love to see it. The Heinrich Flaversham is going to let us draw cards if we banish our item cards, and we got 14 item cards, including Popsicle and Steel Popsicle, and our ramping card speciality, the Fishbone Quill. And then for our late game, we got Lucky Dime. We got the Exert for 2 Ink Chosen. Choose a character of yours and gain lore equal to their lore. Whose lore do we want to gain? Probably Tamatoa, because he gets +1 lore for each item you have in play. If that's not enough, we also have his first ability. When you play this character and whenever you quest, you may return an item card from your discard to your hand. If you don't know about the hacks, you can pop a Popsicle first to heal 2 damage from anybody, or you can just pop it and not heal anybody. And then you can quest with Tamatoa to buy it back. Basically, we call it buying it back because you're getting it back from the discard, so you buy it back. And then you play it, and then you get to draw a card. Like the loops with Tamatoa are so real, it hurts. We got the Let It Goes, our late game removals, Whole New Worlds, and the Grab Your Swords for also some removal. Our early removal consists of Fire the Cannons. We got some more ramp in the way of Sail the Azurite Sea, one of the best cards from Azurite Sea that we got. I was thinking of the set name, and it's right there. The foil is $7 because this card is so good. You need a good plan and even better luck to make it across the treacherous waters. This turn, you may put an additional card from your hand into your inkwell face down. Draw a card. The stipulation with this is it has to be inkable. The thing with Tipo is it doesn't have to be inkable because you just put a card into your inkwell. If you know what I'm saying. The vision of the future is like Develop Your Brain, but way better because we get to look at the top 5 and we get to put 1 into our hand. It's a great deal. Cogsworth and Friends is what this deck is commonly referred to as because Cogsworth gives everybody else resist +1 if he enters the battlefield. The Robbity Bobbity has the Feed the Poor. This is all the way from the first chapter back in 2023. Remember that year? During your turn, this character gains evasive. We're not here for that ability. We're here for the drawing of cards. It says when you play this character, if your opponent has more cards in their hand than you, draw a card, and we like drawing cards. We really do. Ariel can also be our We Have Tamatoa at Home because she can quest for 5 if we have more items in play than our opponent. We're going to play this thing together. The deck list is in the description. If you want to check it out, we can play it by going to Menu, Export, Inktable, and Play on Inktable.
Things that we learned in this video, you got to quest to win the game. If you don't quest your characters, you're not going to win the game. Number 2, Blue Steel has got some new tricks, like Sail the Azurite Sea. And number 3, Cogsworth used to be an adventurer like you. Then he took an arrow to the knee.
We're doing the ultimate challenge, playing the mirror match. We're playing the exact 60 cards against our exact 60 cards. We are going to mulligan a little bit aggressively, taking out all of these cards and leaving just a Popsicle and our ramping option for us to go do our thing. We get Lucky Dime, which is probably one of the worst cards that we would want to see right now. We do have Jim, though, and we have our 1-drop. It starts off with inking our Robin Hood because we're hoping to get a whole new hand eventually, and we get to play the Popsicle. That's exactly what our opponent did, but I don't blame them because it's the best 1-cost card in the entire game. They draw and ink a card. They play a vision of the future. They get to look at the top 5 and put 1 into their hand. We kind of have a little bit of advantage right now, but not a whole lot. We need to ink a card and play a card. We can ramp with Sail the Azurite Sea. Might be a pretty good option, or we can get Jim Hawkins on the board. I say that we need to get our ramp on and not our funny on. So we are going to ink a Tinkerbell, and then we are going to get to play Sail the Azurite Sea. That's going to let us draw a card, and then we can ink an additional card this turn. We are going to ink an additional card this turn. It's going to be Let It Go, because we're trying to get up to some of our characters, and then we're passing the turn. We have 1 more ink than them, and we win second. They have 3 ink. They get to play Sail the Azurite Sea. They already know the moves. They've learned from the best. Thanks, AI. They're up at 4 ink. We get Cogsworth, which we could play next turn. We could put down our Fishbone Quill so we could consistently ink stuff. It looks like that's what we want to do. We want to play our Fishbone Quill. We are going to ink the... Oh, this is ink for turn. We are going to ink Tink. And then we're going to use our card ability on the Fishbone to ink another card this turn. Looking like it's going to be the Lucky Dime. And then we will get to play a Sail the Azurite Sea. That's going to let us ink an additional card this turn. We are going to ink the Chinpo. We're up at 6. We got a whole lot of extra ink this turn, which is good because we need to put cards in play and then use those cards to win the game. And then we will pass here. They're up at 4, and then they pass right away. We like the sound of that. So we will go ahead and play our Ariel. We don't need to ink these other cards. We need to play them. And then we get to pass Ariel. We'll be able to quest for 5 each turn. They play a Pete, so we can't play any actions next turn. This Pete can hit for 3, but that's okay because we could fire the cannons on it next turn. We are going to get to play a Cogsworth. And if we ink fire the cannons, then we can play Jim. But we're not going to do it. We are going to quest our Ariel, though. She quests for a whole 5. 3 for the base, and then 2 more because we have 1 more item than our opponent. We do think that they might have Wheel, though. So maybe we do use the Fishbone to ink the fire to play the Gym, just to have another body on board, and then we pass. The Gym can go to 4 and take out Pete and live. They have Grab Your Swords, does 2 damage to everybody. They'll do 2 damage to specifically Cogsworth and 1 damage to the rest because Cogsworth gives the rest of our people a resist. And then they're questing for 1. We get another Cogsworth. Love to see it. We are going to go ahead and play Cogsworth. We are not shifting it onto the other Cogsworth. Now that we have resist 2, this would only take 1 damage back, but it already has 1 damage. And we need to shift this thing. Like, we need to quest this is all we need to do. So we are going to quest the Ariel. And we might be questing Jim here also because we want to win. We don't want to lose. This only has 3 willpower left, so we don't want to quest it because Pete could take it out, and then we lose some of our resist, and then we pass the turn. I think we are set for the W's next turn. They play an Ariel, but she doesn't proc because we have more items right now as it is. We can play. We should probably play our Lucky Dime to win the game next turn. We'll play Lucky Dime. We will get to quest Ariel. That's 16. We will quest Jim. That's 17. And we will get to quest the Cogsworth all the way up to 19, and then no matter what, we'll have this Lucky Dime and a Cogsworth to win the game. Oh, dude, we can just quest Cogsworth. What am I talking about? So that's how you win going against the mirror. The blue steel can win against the blue steel, but can't win against an aggro build. We're going up against a yellow amethyst, an amber amethyst build that is known for going fast. We need to mulligan a couple cards. We might keep Fire the Cannons. We might keep Chimpo. Might keep that. Don't need the Tamatoa right now. Don't need the Let It Go right now. I think we'll keep the Let It Go. And then we get to Sail the Azurite Sea. All right stuff is happening. We're keeping the Fire the Cannons. We want to use it later. We are going to go ahead and ink our Vision of the Future. We got our #1 play in all of Lorcana, the Popsicle. We play it down and get to draw a card. We get a Fortisphere. Pretty good deal. And then we pass the turn. For our turn 2, do they play a character? They do play the Lilo, and I think we are going to go ahead and snipe the Lilo. We will get to ink a Tamatoa. Don't need to see him just yet. We're going to play our Fortisphere. Fortisphere is going to let us draw a card when we play it. Don't mind if I do. It's a Rabbity Bobbity. And then we will also get to play Fire the Cannons to take out their Lilo. Now, if they want to play Lilo from the discard, they can, but they're going to have to use all their ink. They do go for that plan. And now we don't have a removal for her. We are going to ink Vision of the Future. We have 3 ink. We could play a P, and P can do some work. But I think we should go a little bit of a safer route and do Sail the Azurite Sea. So we're going to play Sail the Azurite Sea. We get to draw a card, and then we get to ink an additional card this turn, looking like it's going to be Robin Hood. And then we can pass the turn. I think we're okay because the most they can do is quest for 2. They can also get a lore with the goat. So they go all the way up to 3. We're looking for some other items. Seeing Let It Go onto Lilo would make her not be able to come back, and we like the idea of that. Looks like we are going to ink our P and play our Cogsworth, because Cogsworth will let us, I don't know, should we play Chimpo and then Cogsworth? We play Cogsworth first and then Chimpo. We play Cogsworth and then we pass. They're going to be able to get another 3 lore to go to 6, maybe even more if they play a lore getting card. They're singing Friends on the Other Side with their goat. They get to draw 2 cards, make a decision. They're going to play Genie. Genie is super good in this game. We get Hiram Flabbersham. We're not going that route. We are going with Chinpo. But it's up to us to see what we want to do. We kind of want to sing Let It Go on Lilo. We sing Let It Go on to Lilo. We're going to ramp them up a card. But now Lilo can't be played from their discard because it's not in their discard. And then we are going to play Chinpo in bodyguard position to keep our Cogsworth safe. We want to definitely keep it safe. We are going to ink Hiram because hopefully next turn we sing Wheel. And then we will play Popsicle this turn. See if we get a good card. It is Ariel, which is pretty good because we could play her next turn and she can quest for 5. We can pass. They're up at 5 lore, which is a quarter of the way through the game. They play a snake to bounce the Genie. They didn't quest the Genie first. Weird choices coming in by the AI. They didn't bounce the Genie. They bounced the goat. And then the goat comes back down to gain them another lore. We get a lucky dime. We have an Ariel. We have a whole bunch of stuff going for us. We are going to play the Ariel because she can get us way more lore than what we need. This is evasive, so we can't take it out. This is a big old bodyguard. We can sing Wheel, and it wouldn't help them as much as it would help us. So we are going to sing Wheel with Chinpo, getting rid of our lucky dime. RIP in peace in the chat. There's 2 Smees. That's going to help us out a lot, and a Fishbone Quill. We can ink a card. Looking like the Tinkerbell here, honestly, because we're not going to be doing a lot of challenging. We're going to try to be racing them, and then we will play a Fortisphere. When we play Fortisphere, we get to draw a card. We're just using the ink that we get, and then we can quest Cogsworth. Because I think Chinpo is safe. Not really, because this can do the damage and this can do the damage. It has a resist 1, but is it safe? Not really. They're questing their Genie all the way up to 11 lore. They have 8 cards in their hand, plenty of stuff to choose from. They're questing the goat. What do they do with the snake? They play down a goat. That gains them a lore. They play down a Madam Mim Fox. That's going to bounce a card back to their hand. They quest the snake, and they have game on board if we don't remove them. We need to win this turn. They're going to do 4 damage to our Chinpo. It's going to be 3 with our resist 1. All right. What do we have going for us? They have 15 lore. We know that they can bounce Merlin, probably. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they can bounce. Chinpo needs to take out a character. The only person who can take out is Madam Mim. Madam Mim does 2 back to it. That's a deal we are willing to make. Yes. So we will challenge Chinpo into the silly little snake. We're still alive. We can quest Ariel for 5 lore up to 7. Any way we can draw cards? Looks like the answer is no. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4. At the door, we are going to play Ariel. She's going to let us quest for 5, hopefully next turn. We can ink Jimothy, so we can play a Smee, which is going to let us quest for more. But if they have a goat bounce or a goat to play or a white rose to play, we lose the turn. We can still quest Cogsworth. We are going to quest Cogsworth to go to 9, put us in winning range. But if they have any way to gain an extra lore this turn, they win. They're questing that snowman up to 16. Questing that goat. Oh, they're attacking the goat into Chinpo. RIP. They're up at 19. If they have any card, they play the goat to win the game. It was that close. We could have quested for 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 10, 12, 14. We could have quested for 14. We could have got there, but they had the smoke for it. So take it as you will. It goes bad against the aggro, specifically into Amethyst. Amethyst is probably the best color in all of Lorcana. Thanks for watching. We put out new videos every day. Please smash the subscribe button, or else.